I'd like you to meet somebody.
How do you do? Oh, stand!
It's a man, baby!
Yeah! Come on! Why won't this wig come off?
If that is a woman, it does look like she was beaten with an ugly stick.
What's up, guys? Benny. I'm a simple Christian, and I read my Bible, and this gives me a lot of confidence in times like these, when it seems like so much is secret and so much is being clawed back into the darkness. Man, I tell you what, I don't think it'll stay there for that long. In Ephesians, it says that everything that is done in darkness will eventually be exposed by the light and made visible for everyone to see. Darkness cannot hide the truth forever. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of dark things going on in the world, including, but not limited to, Emmanuel Macron, who is the president of France, and he just loves being manhandled, you know what I mean? He loves being manhandled by Trump, like right here, the single most alpha handshake in the history of the world, but then also manhandled by, well, Brigitte, as we call her. I don't know exactly. I do know the two of them got into what is effectively a fist fight here in a little testosterone raging Vietnam trip that they took. You can see both hands mauling the face. Quite a hit. Now even more, Brigitte refuses to take the hand of Emmanuel Macron in a new slight on a new foreign trip. You can see here, Emmanuel Macron says, please come here to my former teacher, who's 30 years older than me. It's super creepy and weird. No matter what you think about everything else going on down under, boy, this is strange. Look at this. The insults come on the heels of a court in France ruling that you can call Brigitte Macron a man. Whoa! Women who claim Brigitte Macron was born a man are cleared of defamation charges in France. I didn't know that Candace Owens had moved to France. Let's read. 2 women convicted of defaming French lady Brigitte Macron by saying she was born a man were sensationally cleared on appeal. The judge sitting in the Paris appeal court on Thursday ruled that these 2 women who were bloggers had every legal right to make the allegations. Both claimed that they were subject to intimidation by authorities and ultra-protected members of the Paris establishment to try and cover up the state secret. They said that Brigitte is devastated by the development, can't shut the mouths of her critics. Shut up. It's wild. The judge is effectively saying, you know what? They have a right to their opinions. And they're human beings. And we still have a society here. A judge sitting in Normandy originally fined the 2 women about $1,700 each, finding them guilty of libel. But they appealed, and they won't have to pay anything now. We're acquitted, they said. The court states that does not constitute defamation, this claim that Brigitte Macron is a man, and instead says it represents good faith free speech. That's just what it is, ladies and gentlemen. You're allowed to question your elites. In fact, that's the only way, especially in places like France, that has a very interesting history, the way that they treat their elites. Brigitte Macron should consider herself lucky that she only gets called a man. But now she's out complaining again. France's First Lady, Brigitte Macron, steps up legal battle over gender rumors. Far be it from me to give PR advice to the French ruling class, but humbly, if I may, the more you fight this thing, the more you create a nuclear Streisand effect that is all-consuming. The Streisand effect is when Barbara Streisand, a psychotic, aging lib who's lost her mind, had a public meltdown because people were posting photos of her house, threatening to sue everyone, and shrieking at the top of her lungs, "Don't look at my home." That's what Barbara Streisand did. What effect do you think that's going to have with human beings when you tell them something like that. Free human beings are going to say, well, we're going to look at your home all the harder. So the more that Brigitte Macron shrieks and protests here, well, the lady doth protest too much. France's First Lady has taken her case against two women who claims that she was born a man to the highest appeals court after a lower court let them off. On Thursday, the Paris Appeals Court overturned earlier convictions against two women for spreading the claim online. Disinformation on Macron's gender has circulated on social media for years. Her 24-year age difference with Emmanuel Macron has also attracted much criticism. Brigitte Macron filed libel complaints against the two women who posted a YouTube video claiming that she was a man. In the video, the defendants, who are, described as independent journalists, say that she was born a man, and the judge says, yeah, you have a right to do that. And so here we go. Brigitte now has been driven to despair. How a judge's ruling claims that she was born a man unleashed an army of trolls and conspiracy theorists. You could do a DNA test, I guess. You ever thought about just doing a DNA test? You know what I mean? Would be easy. Just release the results, right? French First Lady Brigitte Macron was always renowned for her decorum and grace at many high-profile appearances. Really? But lately, she's made a number of missteps and apparently ignored even slapping her husband. Now, it can be revealed that her recent discomfort in the public eye is informed by a losing battle against a small army of trolls and conspiracy theorists and driven her to despair. The online abuse of the 72-year-old wife of President Emmanuel Macron, who's only 47, is understood to have intensified significantly. The cue for this shock ruling, which judges effectively sanctioned outlandish claims that she was born a man and had sexually abused her future husband. Listen, they met when he was like 14. So I don't know what else can you say? Brigitte was the teacher, and he was like a preteen. Of course it's creepy. Yes, it's creepy. It's okay to say that because it is. Was he? I mean, he was like underage. They met way before he was what age of consent? 18? I don't know what it is in France. They're weird, but let's just assume it's 18. Okay. And now apparently she's depressed. Well, okay, maybe you should just recognize that when you're living a life of lavish opulence funded by the taxpayers on the taxpayer dime, then we, the taxpayers, have a right to ask you questions about that. And you're going to be subjected to a tax that you don't like. And too bad. Shut up. Go live normal, anonymous lives like the rest of us, right? Like, go live a normal life. Go get a job in a French bakery or whatever the hell. Well, you don't get a chance to fly around on private jets and wear all this designer fashion stuff and go to all these state dinners and then claim that you're a victim of something just because somebody has a disagreement with you or makes up an opinion about you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Or you just do a DNA test. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. There you go. Too bad. Too bad. It's a very interesting interview between Candace Owens and Xavier Possard, the author of Becoming Brigitte, on this exact subject. And it lays out exactly what all of this is and why you should care. So, here you go.
And is this the moment when you were first introduced to, I guess, the name, the person, Jean-Michel Trogneau? Because prior to, there were essentially just no pictures of Brigitte Macron for 30 plus years of his or her life. And was it Natasha that first brought forth the name to you, Jean-Michel Trogneau?
Alors, c'est quelque chose d'intéressant.
So, this is something interesting. I had identified this name in the archives of documents found in the commercial courts. I ordered a lot of documents from the commercial courts called the INPI to trace companies. I was interested in the Trognos, and I saw this name appear which did not appear in the biographies. I realized that Emmanuel Macron wasn't really selling well to the public as a persona. He was in managerial positions and in hedge funds, and the public wasn't really gripped by this. When they decided to create a presidential candidate, they tried to focus more on the background of Brigitte Macron's family, the Trognos family, who are a family of chocolatiers from Amiens, France, since it is a family which is rooted in the real country, in the real economy. That is to say, they are not bankers at Rothschilds. They don't do mergers and acquisitions. They make chocolates. They were even compared to the Kennedys in the French press. At that moment, we said to ourselves, why is there this insistence on each brother, each sister, each niece, etc., except one, Jean-Michel Trognos? Jean-Michel was erased, and Natasha told me that a family photo, which was supposed to have Brigitte on her mother's lap, had been shown to the press, and she told me, but look closely at the little boy. This is Jean-Michel Trognos. By process of elimination, it is Jean-Michel Trognos, and this hidden brother, if you look closely, is actually Brigitte Macron. She was fully convinced, and I thought, it's very disturbing. It's worth cross-checking.
So in America, there's an expression, we say the dog that doesn't bark, right? So what's quite interesting is this is the dog that's not barking. There's all of this information about all the family members, and you recognize that there's no information about this family member. And that photograph that we saw of their family in Amiens, I remember the first time that I saw that photo because that's actually what got me involved in the case. It was, for me, a matter of common sense. I just looked at the photo, and the Daily Mail was trying to tell me that the little girl on the lap was young Brigitte, and I just looked over to the left of the photo, and I said, no, I have two eyes. Obviously, I don't even know what the theory is, but that's clearly Brigitte, a very distinct face. You can't really change your face. Well, I guess you can, but it was very distinct to me. So this is sort of what Natasha noticed is you're looking at this family photo, you're looking into Amiens, you're looking into this chocolatiers, and you're noticing that this boy on the left, you don't know anything about whatsoever.